The morning sun rose lazily over Omodara Street, gilding the uneven rooftops with a soft orange hue. The street was already alive, women sweeping their front yards, men arguing about football near the kiosk, and the smell of frying Ankara drifting through the air. It was another ordinary day until the black SUV appeared. The vehicle slowed before the old house at number 14, the one that had stood empty since Chief Adeyemi's death. Curtains fluttered as neighbors peeked from their windows, curiosity lighting every face. Nobody new ever moved into Omodara Street quietly. When the door opened, a woman stepped out. She was tall, graceful, and dressed in a white lace gown that shimmered under the sun. Her perfume lingered long after she passed, delicate yet commanding. Her eyes were hidden behind dark glasses, but her posture carried the kind of confidence people either admired or feared. "Who's she?" someone whispered. "I heard the landlord finally found a tenant," replied another. "They say she paid a full year's rent in cash." Within minutes, gossip began to spread like wildfire. By noon, every corner shop and salon had a different version of the same story. The new woman was rich, mysterious, and according to Mama Uche, not an ordinary person. Madam Uche, who ran the small provision store near the junction, was the self-appointed Minister of Information on the street. She had eyes everywhere and ears that never slept. The moment she heard about the new tenant, she sent her daughter Nkechi to buy pure water near house 14 just to see. When the girl returned, her voice trembled with excitement. "Mommy, she's so fine. Her nails are red like blood, and she even has a driver." Mama Uche's eyes widened. "Driver? For this kind street? My spirit no clear." That evening, as the street lights flickered on, the woman's compound remained silent. No visitors, no music, no generator sound, only the faint glow of her window. Her name, the gateman said, was Madam Bimpe. And though she had only just arrived, her presence already felt like a storm waiting at the edge of Omodara Street. By the next morning, Madam Bimpe's arrival had become the only topic on Omodara Street. Women paused their sweeping to talk about her, men shook their heads in mock pity, as if her beauty alone was a sin. Even the children whispered, running errands past her gate just to steal a glance. "She doesn't greet anyone," Mama Sod muttered to her neighbor as she tied her headscarf. "You see that kind of fine woman, they always carry secret." "You're right," Mama Uche replied, her tone thick with suspicion. "A woman that moves into a place like this with such money and no husband. Something is not adding up." Every evening, Mama Uche would sit outside her shop, watching the quiet compound across the road. The walls were freshly painted cream, the gate a polished black, and a new gardener came every Saturday. Whoever Madam Bimpe was, she was not the kind to blend in. On the third day, a curious young man named Teo, who delivered water in the area, decided to greet her. He was polite, well-spoken, and had a heart too soft for his own good. He knocked on her gate once, then twice. When the small door finally opened, a woman in a neat house dress stood before him, poised, elegant, and faintly smiling. "Yes," she asked, her voice calm but distant. "Good afternoon, Ma," Teo said, slightly nervous. "I deliver water on this street. I wanted to know if you'd need." "I already have," she interrupted gently. "But thank you." She closed the door softly, not rudely, but firmly enough to end the conversation. Teo stood there for a moment, feeling foolish, yet strangely drawn to her calmness. Something about her eyes, deep, unreadable, lingered in his thoughts long after he left. That night, as the moon spread its silver light across the street, something unusual happened. At exactly 2 a.m., a child in the neighboring compound woke up screaming. His mother rushed out, asking what was wrong. The boy kept pointing at Madam Bimpe's house, trembling. "I saw light in her backyard," he cried. "And I heard someone crying like a baby." The mother hushed him and locked the door, muttering prayers. By dawn, the rumor had already started. "Did you hear? They said she keeps a baby inside that house. No. I heard it's not even a baby, it's something else entirely. Omodara Street was alive again, not with joy, but with whispers. And in the middle of it all, Madam Bim drew her curtains shut and watched them from behind the glass, her expression unreadable. The rumor spread faster than harmattan fire. By midday, everyone on Omodara Street had an opinion about Madam Bim's midnight visitor. Some said she was hiding a love child, others swore she was involved in something darker, something unholy. Mama Uche, of course, was the loudest voice among them all. I told you, she declared at her shop that morning, waving a sachet of pure water for emphasis. No woman like that lives quietly for nothing. When I see her that first day, my spirit no rest. Fine face, calm voice, no so they start. The others nodded, pretending to disagree but secretly thrilled. Gossip, on Omodara Street, was entertainment and survival. But Teo, the young water vendor, couldn't shake off his thoughts. He had seen the woman up close, her calmness, her grace. She didn't look like someone with evil in her heart. Still, curiosity is a dangerous thing. That night, he passed by her compound again, the faint hum of his radio keeping him company. As he walked, he noticed something strange. The gate to Madam Bim's house wasn't fully closed. It was slightly ajar, swaying gently with the breeze. He hesitated. Then curiosity won. Pushing it open, he stepped inside. The compound smelled faintly of jasmine, and the moonlight revealed a small flower garden, every plant perfectly arranged. He took a few quiet steps forward, intending only to check if everything was fine. Then he heard it. A soft cry. Faint. Muffled. It came from behind the house. Teo froze. The sound was unmistakable, a baby's cry. He turned, his heart racing. There was movement near the backyard window, a shadow passing slowly. Before he could call out, a voice cut through the silence. Teo. He spun around. Madam Bim stood in the doorway, her white night robe glowing under the moonlight. Her expression was calm, but her eyes, those dark, deep eyes, carried something unsettling. What are you doing in my compound at this hour? She asked quietly. Teo swallowed hard. I saw your gate open. I wanted to make sure you were safe. Her lips curved slightly, but the smile never reached her eyes. Thank you. But next time, safety may not be yours to ensure. He started to apologize, but she raised a hand. Go home, Teo. And don't listen to everything you hear on this street. As he left, the gate closed gently behind him. From the corner of his eye, he thought he saw her turn toward the backyard again, and the crying stopped. That night, sleep refused to come to Teo. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard the echo of that small, haunting cry and Madam Bim's calm voice whispering his name. And somewhere on Omodara Street, Mama Uche stayed awake too, staring at the same house through her window, murmuring, God, whatever that woman is hiding, one day, we will find out. Morning came heavy with dust and whispers. The harmattan breeze carried more than sun that day, it carried tension. Something felt off on Omodara Street, like the calm before a storm no one could name. At 7:30, Mama Uche's scream tore through the quiet. Jesus, oh! My money! My bag don't disappear. People came running. Her small provision shop stood open, shelves scattered, biscuit cartons on the floor. She held an empty nylon purse in her trembling hands as if it had been ripped straight from her heart. Who came here last night? Someone asked. Mama Uche's voice cracked. Only that Teo boy passed here around 11, and not long after, I hear sound from that fine woman's compound. She pointed toward house 14, Madam Bim's gate glinting under the morning sun. A hush swept over the crowd. That house again. By mid-morning, Omodara Street was no longer a neighborhood, it was a courtroom. Words flew faster than sense. I knew it, said Mama Sod, clutching her wrapper. A woman that quiet must be hiding something. Don't you see? She came with bad luck, murmured another. She doesn't greet, she doesn't talk nor so witches behave. The whispers thickened like smoke, calling around Madam Bimpe's name. Theo heard of the theft before noon. He rushed down from the water stand, his throat dry with anger and fear. The moment he stepped onto the street, head stunned. The gossip was already faster than his defense. By the time he reached house 14, he could barely breathe. He knocked gently at first, then harder. The gate opened. Madam Bimpe stood there in a simple robe, her face calm as dawn. You again, she said, softly. More, his voice trembled. They said I stole money. They said I gave it to you. Her eyes rested on him, unreadable. And did you? No. His voice cracked. I only wanted to help. I swear I didn't. Then why are you afraid? Theo froze. The way she asked it, not accusing, not mocking, but like someone who already knew something he didn't, sent a shiver through his chest. I'm not afraid, he said weakly. She stepped closer, just enough for her perfume to reach him. You should be, she whispered. Not of them but of what they'll become when gossip turns to hunger. He stared at her, confused, unsettled. More, please, they'll ruin me if you don't speak. For a long moment, she was silent. Then she smiled faintly, the kind of smile that hides pain, not peace. Theo, truth is never what they want. They only want someone to burn. Before he could respond, she turned and walked back inside, closing the gate with the quiet finality of a confession that would never be made. By evening, the street was restless again. No one found the missing purse, no one admitted guilt, and no one could stop talking. Yet beneath the noise, something had changed, a shadow, faint but growing. For the first time, even Mama Uche hesitated before looking toward house 14. Because in the quiet moments between gossip and nightfall, she could swear she heard something, a faint rhythm coming from that house. Not a baby's cry this time. Not a voice. But a sound like someone quietly humming a lullaby too old to belong to anyone still living. It was a Wednesday afternoon, the kind that carried no promise, just heat, noise, and the restless gossip of Omodara Street. The quarrel over Mama Uche's missing purse had begun to cool, but the street's eyes still watched house 14 with careful suspicion. Madam Bimpe had not stepped outside in 3 days. Her curtains stayed drawn, her gate locked. Even her gardener hadn't shown up that week. To most people, silence should have meant peace, but on Omodara Street, silence was simply another kind of noise. Then, that afternoon, a strange man arrived. He came on foot, tall, dark-skinned, his shirt clinging to his back with sweat and travel dust. His eyes searched every compound number until they found the one he wanted. House 14. He stood there a moment, studying the black gate like it was an old enemy. Then he knocked. Once. Twice. 3 times. The gate didn't move. Mama Uche saw him first, of course. She was at her shop, counting change with deliberate slowness, pretending not to notice, though she'd already taken in his face, his shoes, and the tension in his shoulders. Who you they find? She called out eventually. The man turned, polite but guarded. Please, does a woman named Bimpe live here? Mama Uche's heart jumped. You know her? He hesitated. You could say that. I used to. The way he said it used to was heavy, like a word dragged through memory. Before she could press him, a sound came from behind the gate, the soft metallic click of a lock turning. Madam Bimpe stepped out. The sight of her froze the air between them. Her robe was cream silk, her hair wrapped neatly, but her face changed the moment her eyes found the man's. A flicker. A pulse. Then stillness. Can I help you? She asked, her tone smooth, distant. The man swallowed hard. You don't recognize me. She blinked once, slow, controlled. Should I? He laughed, but there was no joy in it. After everything you still ask that? Her gaze shifted slightly toward the watching crowd. I think you've mistaken me for someone else. Before he could speak again, she stepped back and began to close the gate. The man reached out quickly, catching it halfway. More, he started, but she cut him off sharply. Don't, she said. Her voice was too calm, the kind that trembles only after it's done speaking. That name doesn't live here. And then she shut the gate. The clang echoed down the street like thunder after lightning. Mama Uche's mouth hung open. "En. Did you hear that?" He called her something, Emo something. Within minutes, the rumor began to form, thin and hungry, shaping itself into a new story. Maybe not her brother. No, oh, that one no look like family matter. Did you see her face? I swear, she knew him. You can't hide history from eyes. By sunset, the stranger was gone, no one knew where. But in the quiet of her room, behind drawn curtains, Madam Bimpe sat motionless on her bed, staring at the closed door as if expecting it to open again. And when the church bell rang at 7 p.m., her whisper floated through the dim air, a whisper only the walls could hear. I buried that name years ago. Why has it come back now? That night, Omodara Street refused to sleep. The air felt wrong, thick and watchful, like something unseen had decided to sit among them. By 9, the street lights began to flicker one by one, humming with weak electricity before fading into complete darkness. Someone hissed from their balcony, "Nipa again." But another voice trembling replied, "No, be only Nipa, it's that house. House 14.